Hey everybody, it's Mithu Rahman here, and welcome to the next video in this series. Thanks for tuning in once again. Today I'm talking about the cry for help. So, if you think about a patient who's come in and they've self-harmed or they've over-medicated, not enough to cause themselves any real harm, and they know that. But if this is out of character for them, and it's you've known this patient for a while and you know this isn't something that they would normally do, well then that would normally set alarm bells ringing. Something is clearly up. Whatever it is, whatever's going on in their life, they're not coping with it particularly well. They're getting possibly overwhelmed because there's just too much going on and they can't deal with it. Sound familiar? That may well be going on in your life right now. I've talked to plenty of doctors who say very much that. Now, what you've got to consider is that doctors in particular really aren't very good at asking for help. In fact, probably the worst of professions that I talk to, and of course especially GPs. And it's very easy when you work on your own, or say you tend to be sort of you're in a single-handed practice, that you tend to take on a lot more responsibilities, whether you need to or not. Now, the thing is that's not, it's probably not helping you. If you think about the doctor's mentality, a lot of the time I tend to find people just build up and up and up on their plate, and the mentality I see is something along the lines of, well, how bad do I let this get before it comes to the point where maybe I should ask for help? Whereas the people who actually are most effective, people who are most successful at getting things completed, their mindset is far more along the lines of, as soon as they're given a task or that there's a task that comes to hand, the first thing they're thinking is, okay, who can I help? Who can I get to help me with this? Or what kind of resources can I access that will help me get this done quicker? I tend to find that there are three main reasons that doctors aren't very good at asking for help. So, number one, we don't want people to think that we're incapable of doing something, or that we can't take responsibility for something. This probably goes back to the days of, remember back when you were a junior doctor and maybe you were first starting out on your firm, or even as an SHO, or maybe you were a registrar. Now, if your consultant or whoever your senior was gave you something to do, you wouldn't generally refuse it, because you don't want to get a bad mark from your consultant at the end of the firm. So you take on the responsibility to show that you are able to take on the responsibility and that you're good at what you do. You're competent, because you want to show that. Now, that would have been useful back then. However, now in your role as a GP, where you're pretty much at the top of the food chain, same mindset isn't always going to be that helpful. So taking responsibility for things is all well and good, but you've got the same number of hours in the day as everybody else. So you've got to be thinking to yourself, well, what things can I do effectively that I need to do, compared to the things that I really should be getting help with, so I can get as much done as I possibly can. So that's the first reason. The second reason is that a lot of the time we don't trust other people to be able to do whatever it is as effectively or as quickly or as competently as we can. Now, there's a certain element to, I don't want to call it snobbery, but let's just say that we develop a feeling of importance from being able to do what we do, and we don't want to think a lot of the times that other people can emulate what we do. Even though if you think about a hospital team, the consultant doesn't run around, go into the pharmacy to get drugs and then sticking all the Venflons in himself or herself to give the patient the medication. No, the consultant makes the decision, and then it's the juniors and the nurses which help to implement that decision. you should be thinking along exactly the same lines, because you can't get enough done. And trust me on this, I know this is the kind of thing that leads towards burnout, when you just take on too much stuff because you genuinely think that other people can't help you, that they're not capable of doing so, but they can, and you should be looking for their help. Number 3, and this I think is a very modern malady, and it's the need to look busy. Do you ever go to people nowadays and you ask them, "Oh, how's it going?" And they go, "Oh, I'm so busy." When did that become a badge of honor? When did that become a thing that you had to show that, oh, you're always doing stuff, or you're always busy, as if that's an indication of how important that you are? Because it really isn't. A lot of people mistake activity for results, and the two of them are most certainly not necessarily the same thing. You can't get results without doing activities, but there's a lot of people doing a lot of activities and not getting the results. It's kind of like the supermum, you know, the outside appearance of got the 4 kids, got the perfect husband, got a great social life, always looks perfect. You know, it's kind of like the idea, like they can do everything. Of course, it's not true. It's not true. They're getting a lot of help because they've asked for a lot of help. And there's the way to look competent and strong in your job, really, is to make sure that you've got the team behind you helping you. So if there's one thing to take away from all of this, is that the people who get the most done are the people who are getting the most help. And I hope that's helpful for you. So there'll be more videos to come. Do please comment down below and subscribe. Hope that's helpful, and hopefully I will see you at the next video. This is Mithu Raman. I'm trusting you to stay resilient, my colleagues. I'll see you later.